Traditions change with the times and with technology.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live interview right here on TejanoKeyboard.com. I am that guy, Rolando Revilla Jr. On TejanoKeyboard.com. Today's guest, we have Mr. Beatzilla X. Hello, how are you?
What's up, everybody?
So thank you
I'm
very
great, my
much.
brother. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well, man. We had a wonderful day here in Toledo, Ohio, where I live, and it was like 72 degrees. It was beautiful outside. We got to spend some time out there, and came in here and got ready for the interview. So I had some questions prior to this interview from people, and they were asking like, hey, what's some of the music that Beatzilla X has been involved in? And I said, well, you know what? I'll let him tell his story and kind of like how he got to be from his start to kind of where you're at now.
Well, first and foremost, my brother, thank you, Tocayo, for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. Shout out to Toledo, Ohio. It's been a good minute since I've been out there, but I bet it's super beautiful out there right now. I'm over here in Texas, in Corpus Christi. Originally born in Robstown, Texas, my hometown, but I reside in Corpus. And just a little synopsis about what went on in my career back in the day. I had started out with this band called Chico. Porque tú eres mi primer amor. At that time we were called Eclipse, and we were picked up by Q Productions when Abraham first launched his record label, and we were the guinea pigs of the Onda. But we were on the road with Selena for about a year and a half as our opening act, and I mean, talk about going to school. Watching from the sidelines, watching what a beautiful person she is and was.
Yep.
And it was just a great school to be in. And AB produced our first album with Chico under Capital EMI Records back in 93. I still have the cassette.
They had that Por eso no, right? Yeah, that was the jam, man.
Yeah.
There was that shit on there too.
Our first single.
Yeah.
So that was our first single with the band, and back in the day, the singles, they would send them out to CDs, to the radio spots in CD form, and on that they always had like 3 artists, and during that no, I think it was Emilio and Intocable and us in that single that they were promoting for Capitol at the time. So we were up there with the big dogs. It's just a big blessing, Time went on. After that band, I went to go play with Jennifer Peña, Los Jets. I stayed on the road with her for about 5.5 years, Great times, great family. It was just touring every weekend, Thursday through Monday sometimes, and just living the life. It was great 5 years of my life that I got to spend and watch them grow up with them.
Yeah.
Grew up with them, actually.
And also, they were under Q Productions at that time too, right?
Correct. Yes, sir. We were under there for a good minute, and then after that, I went on to go play with Chris Bettis, and I spent with Chris Bettis on the road for about three years or so, and we have put out an album with Q Productions as well, and so I had just missed going on tour with Maná by like a month, because they were prior going on tour with Maná, and they had just got off the road when I joined the band. So, but great moments in my life there. I got to meet Carlos Santana, Vivica Fox.
Wow.
You name it, dude. It was crazy, crazy times in Pasadena, California that we did the Alma Awards.
That's
You know,
awesome.
Sheila E was behind us playing drums with us, percussion, I should say. It was just a great time, great moments. From that point, after Chris Perez, I went to go play with DJ Kane, which I spent about 10 years on the road with. And, you know, we came in with Brinca, and I can't forget, there was so many of them
I
in the
know.
time in the studio that we were working together. Crazy times. 10 years is a long time, right?
Yep. Yeah,
but
man.
but other than that, you know, after 10 years with DJ Kane, you know, we kind of like all took a little break, and we ended up making this band called Misterio.
Hmm.
And Misterio consisted of me, DJ Kane, Ricky Rick, that was with the Cumbia All Stars. He sang Rica Apretadita y Pareces que va a llover.
Yep.
And then we had Reno Martinez on guitar. So they lived in Monterrey, and we were signed under Universal Mexico. So with this band, I got to tour a lot of different countries, you know, from South America to Honduras to El Salvador. We spent a lot of time in Bolivia, a lot of time in Mexico. We had a great following, great following. It was a great run, you know. I wish nothing but great to the fellas, you know, still show them love all day. I learned a lot from them. And where I'm standing now, um, we have this band called Mexicana and the Monster Squad,
Hmm.
which is a fusion, which is Machi from La Conquista. She's the lead singer.
Right.
Her husband, Ryan, on drums. Myself on keys and guitars. Excuse me. Sorry, I just ate dinner a while ago, so I'm trying not to burp through this mask. And so we formed this fusion of we put everything in the caldo, from Latin rock to mariachi to a little, you know, to a little bit of what we like, the 80s and 90s, you know, just everything in the caldo. So we're writing on that one right now. Of course, COVID, you know, hit everybody, affected everybody, and you know, I hope everybody's safe right now, and you know, because this was a serious virus going on, you know,
Absolutely.
and it took a toll on everybody in the whole world, you know, not
Hmm.
just certain parts of the world, everybody,
Yep.
including us musicians, you know. So we are currently we're fixing to do a new video, and
Hmm.
with this video we're gonna go to space. You know, obviously we're real theatrical on stage. You know, if you could tell by all this, um, this is the territory it comes with. But it was something different and something that there was, you know, there's no rules in music, so why not, right? But
Absolutely.
still keep our foundation at the end of the day.
Yeah, and to kind of expand on what you're saying, like, and even so, like, music is one thing, but a song can only be so much, right? And then, like, when people go to a performance, they're going to that. They're not going to a listening party. They're going to a performance, and in order for them to
Exactly.
feel like they've been entertained by a performance, you got to have the light show. You got to have the smoke and the screens nowadays, and you know, even outfits and different you know, wardrobe stuff, you know, like, you know, your unique. I saw some of your Facebook pictures, you know, the hats, the mohawk, all that stuff. Super cool, man, because that's
Thank
what's
you,
going to
man.
leave a lasting impression. You know what I mean? I mean, even if you go back to the days of Mas, like, I mean, and no disrespect to Mas, right? Because Mas is one of my all-time favorite bands, but
Oh,
one
me
thing that
too. Me too.
one of the things that kind of made them above and beyond was the show, like the big speakers and the big like they were just larger than life, you know what I mean? And
They
like
were.
how do you get that and move it into the 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 2020s, you know what I mean? And I think
Right,
all the
exactly.
elements that you're talking about are exactly what keyboard players need to hear, man. It's like you need to be able to kind of like you said, have a foundation of the past, but figure out how to incorporate that to bring the audiences back to feel a sense of entertainment. Because I mean, let's face it, there's tons of awesome musicians that can play like nobody's business, right? But what is
Right,
going
exactly.
to get the people to come to see you play? You know what's you know, to perform, you know, and what's going to generate more people, because more people is what generates more dollars, and then once more dollars come in, then that's when it becomes more sustainable. And then, people talk about like, oh, Tejano music, living on or whatever, or not even just Tejano music, but music in general. Like, if you want what you're doing to succeed, you have to have return clients, and the way that you're going to return clients is if you entertain them. So I completely see where you're coming from, and I really dig it, man. I mean, just this interview right now, the fact that you went through with the lights and all that, I mean, that's awesome, man. It really is.
Ugly, not the ugly, the best thing about being a musician, and being on stage, it's always Halloween on stage, no matter what.
That's true, man.
It's always Halloween.
Yeah,
you come to my studio, it's Halloween all day. But it's just the atmosphere that people would love to be surrounded by. I mean, if people have great music, why don't you add a plus? Why don't you make a show out of that great music? Instead of just going and not knocking anybody. I'll never knock anybody for doing what they do. But if you get to the next level, why not? The power of the mic, the power of the keyboard, the power of music. Period. Either you could be on the crowd watching the stage, or you can be on stage
watching the crowd. Yeah, exactly, man. I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the way we always seen it. It's like, let's Madonna, let's Michael Jackson, let's Prince this project, as much as we can, because everything we do is in-house. We don't have to go anywhere. Luckily, we have people that are what do you call it?
Producers.
Capable of doing this part, and doing this part, and doing this part. So with Mexicana, we have a great team, Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Machi's husband, Ryan, he started building plots, outfits for us. Like Batman stuff, like crazy stuff, and I can't wait for y'all to see it, because I'm telling you, with this new song that we're gonna come out with, we're gonna go to space, and I meant we're gonna go to space, but like something Star Wars would do, but in musical, in music. So it's been a blessing, brother. I've also been blessed to be working on a project with Johnny Canales.
Oh, right on.
I'm doing a song with him. Yeah, right now, currently doing a song with him that he recorded back in the 70s, but the icing on the cake is that he's doing a duet with his daughters. Mm-hmm. So, Johnny Canales is that guy, like Dick Clark I can't think of everybody of American Bandstand,
Yeah, Dick Clark and even a Ryan Seacrest of today. And here's the one thing,
right,
exactly, a lot of people attribute to the decline in Tejano music to, anything from record sales to radio stations only playing old music, blah blah blah. You can throw a thousand different reasons at why the onda has slowed down, but one thing that's overlooked, in my opinion, I think, and maybe you can, and I'm glad that you brought him up, is Johnny Canales, because there was also Rogelio and other people that were doing their shows. But me being a Michigan native, growing up listening to cassettes of Mas, La Mafia, La Sombra, Selena, Emilio, and stuff like that, the only real physical, or not physical, but visual connection that I had to any of these groups outside of the liners, inside of the cassettes and the CDs, was from watching Johnny Canales. You know what I mean? It was, and I think a lot of people outside of Texas, or displaced Tejanos, whatever you want to call them, Mexican Americans that live outside of Texas, the reason that I think Tejano got so big was, I think it was just the perfect storm of the record labels coming in at the right time, and Johnny Canales and shows like that brought Tejano music to the masses, and when Johnny Canales got off the air, or whatever, had happened, I think that's kind of, in my opinion, right, is where you started to see a decline in, in the onda, because there wasn't somebody official, right, like a Dick Clark, like a Ryan Seacrest, somebody like that says, hey, you guys, this is the new hot thing. You guys have to be checking out for these guys. And, you see Los Chamacos, putting on their show and doing their dance moves and stuff. Nobody has ever seen anything like that, unless you actually live in Houston, or, wherever, in Texas, to actually see that.
Bullseye. You hit the bullseye on it. You're absolutely right. And recently I've always been a Johnny Canales fan since I can remember. Mm-hmm. I cannot wait to be on his show, even though I wasn't in a band yet. But the thing is, my older brother, who played with Grupo Estrella, La única estrella que tiene. You know, he was with them for years, and I got to watch him on Johnny Canales. I'm like, you know what? He get up there. It's my turn. You know, and you know, I was super jealous, and you know, my older brother never wanted me to be a musician. One, you know, because you know, switching subjects real quick because of the behind the scenes. You know, he goes, it's not always about the lights and the fog and everything. I go, yeah, of course, I know it takes work with anything, you know, but you know, it's not always being on the road is going to be super packed, or you know, this and that, which comes with the territory, right? With life, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but going back to Johnny Canales, you know, when I was able to go on that show, you know, and you know, multiple times with Chico, with Jennifer, with Chris, with DJ Kane, with Misterio, with Mexicana. Machi was teaching her daughters, because she also holds a music academy called Musical Minds, right? So she was teaching she's still teaching her daughters, you know, instruments, guitars and drums, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so we built this relationship through her, and you know, not ever did I think Johnny Canales would come to my crib, you know. Like I tripped out when I heard he was coming over here. I got super nervous. I'm like, no way. And on top of that, I had been working on his song, but it's been an adventure, you know, because this is Johnny Canales. Not, you know, as many huge bands that he's made throughout his career.
Intocable.
You know, and I get to be the one to produce a song for him after so many years. Like that's a big plate. You know, really so is, I have to do my homework and you know, just study like a bunch of stuff, sharpen my pencil shingles at times, you know.
Yep.
And so it's been coming, you know, he came and heard a while back what I was working on, and he was in tears. You know, he was really happy about what was happening. And then not too long ago, it was his wife's birthday party, and my fiance Moni also plays with La Conquista. She's the accordion player.
Okay.
They were over there, and she called me via FaceTime, but it was Johnny, right? And he goes, "Oye, mándame lo que estás haciendo," and I'm like, okay, you know. Like, don't make fun of me because it's not done, you know. I mean, I had to invest in some mariachi sounds because I don't want to say too much, but it's going in there.
Right.
So I had to do some investing in software, you know, which is well worth it. You know, I don't mind doing it. Plus, it's a big plus that I have it already.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, sometimes for a song, you got to have that in order for it to work, you know, to keep rolling. Yep. At least for me. I'm pretty sure for you as well, too.
Yeah, it's just like if you're going to build anything else, like a house or something like that, if you need this one special tool, you buy the tool and you're like, well, yeah, I needed it for this one thing, but now you're going to always have it. So whenever the time comes that you need that tool, it's already available. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the saying?
More the merrier.
Yeah, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So
exactly. Like in a song, you know, we're producing a song, like you can always delete, right? Mm-hmm. You can always delete. Let's give it a try. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, just hit delete. A lot of people were scared of delete, you know. So it's okay, you know. That's why pencils had erasers back in the day, because you made mistakes, you know.
I like that. Right?
It's cool to have mistakes. We're supposed to make mistakes, you know.
Absolutely.
We're supposed to. But you know, so you know, he had heard the new revision that I've done for his track, and you know, I got a call from them with hand claps and with Nora telling me, his wife telling me words that my ears were listening, but my heart was listening way more.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was so many beautiful words, undescribable, that I could not repeat them. Even if I wrote them down, I could not repeat them. It was just beautiful. So it warmed my heart, and it took a lot of what do you call it, pressure on me, you know, like, okay, so I'm in the right direction. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now, as well as doing projects. And I also doing projects with these other guys from Pearsall called M2. That's a cumbia project on that one. Mm-hmm. I have a project going on with Omi that's more like an international reggaeton feel. And then I have this other project with this guy Floyd. We call him Fly. It's more like a rock kind of feel, like Alter Bridge, and you know, that kind of sense. And just a couple of my buddy Victor, that's international rock too as well. So I got about six or seven projects going on right now.
Well, that's cool, man. We got some shout outs right here that we want to send. People have been chatting here. Shout out going out to Andy Diaz. It says, cool. So I think he's
What up, Andy?
referring to everything that's going on in the interview. Raul Nano Fuentes says, "Can we get an explosivo sample, Roro?"
I know what he wants. Okay, so real quick, Raul, only because you called me out. So back in the day, also I cannot forget this. I don't know if you've heard of explosivo.
La Viejita Enamorada.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
that was I used to love that band. I really did.
Dude, so you know what? And I can't. Thank God, Raul. Thank you for reminding me of this, dude. Because sometimes in interviews, things can just happen and you forget. Your mind forgets, but your heart doesn't. Yep. But Raul, thank you for that one. George Explosivo, George Ochoa. I gotta pay homage to him for the rest of my life because of him, which he was the lead singer of the band. This dude played everything, recorded the whole album pretty much by himself. Mm-hmm. He's the one who taught me about Tejano music, chord progressions, how they feel, sequencing, stuff like that. Back when I was a sophomore in high school. Mm-hmm. So we went into Freddie Records back in the day, the old Freddie Records.
Yep.
And La Viejita Enamorada was baking in the oven, right? Mm-hmm. And so he goes, his dad wrote it for him, as a matter of fact. Him and his dad wrote it together. And then his dad goes, and all we need is an old lady's voice. Mm-hmm. And I was like, to say what? And he goes, like, ay que pasote. And I was like, I don't know, I can try this. And I go, ay que pasote. He goes, that's it, dude. Get in the studio. I was like, for real? He goes, yes, you need to record that. So that was my first recording ever in the studio, honestly, in a professional studio.
Let me say this, man. So in 1994, my dad has passed away now. May he rest in peace.
God bless his soul.
He and I and some of his friends, we got together and we started this, cover Tejano band in Michigan. And, we played at local dance halls and stuff because Tejano was big in Michigan at that time, too, even in the most rural parts where we were from, right? And one of the first songs, and I'm not even kidding, one of the first songs that we performed at our very first gig was La Viejita Enamorada.
No way.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I swear. And our bass player would always do the ay que pasote. People would get
dude, that's crazy, bro. That warms my heart, man.
That's awesome, man. Like, look, just talking about it's giving me goosebumps, man. It really is, just because it's taking me back. Awesome, like, man. I feel like I'm in that moment. As soon as you said, like, well, because he said explosivo, and there's an explosivo here from Michigan, as a matter of fact. Raul used to play with them, right? But when I was like, what is he talking about? And then when you said, oh, I was in a band, I was like, this is the band. This is that song. You know what I mean? And there were some good rancheras and other stuff on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. That whole Ven Conmigo. I forgot the title of it, but yeah, man. There was some great music on there, man.
It was, man. Wow, that's wild, man.
Those are great.
Look at
super crazy.
All these years later, we're connecting on Facebook. Like, you don't know me, I don't really know you, and we're just kind of like, hey, let's do this interview or whatever. And I've had different people on here. I'm trying to get as many different keyboard players that have had some kind of influence on the music, even if it was a slight one. But man, now that I'm talking to you, I'm like, man, like a lot of what you're talking about is like part of like what I first started playing, yeah, man. I used to jam that song, man. I used to love playing that song.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That warms my heart, real talk.
Cool, man.
Raul, like I know you forever, bro.
Awesome. Raul also says, do you miss jamming with Chuco back from the early days? Yeah, okay. The early Kane days. Okay, yeah. So I think Raul might have showed up a little late, but we did talk about oh no, wait, with Chuco, not with Chico, with Chuco. Yeah, Chuco, I remember. Yeah. Okay, yeah. From Michigan.
You know Chuco too, right? He's out there. He's out there. Yes. Man, me and Chico have chingos of miles on the road right there.
Yeah, cool, man. Man, small world, man.
It's about time he changes his oil now.
Yeah, you know what? We played a few years back for his daughter's quinceañera.
Yes,
So
that's right. Yeah, and I've watched his daughter grow. I remember when she was just a baby. And me and you have the first name, me and him have the same last name. So there's
there you go.
the triangle right there.
Yep. And he had a band or has a band. I'm not sure how active they are right now. I mean, well, nobody's active right now because of COVID. But
yeah.
Shout out to the guys from Tejano Funk and TF2.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah,
I would catch some of them on Facebook sometimes. The shows.
Yeah, I would help them out on accordion sometimes. And actually, one time, Chuco couldn't go, and I played keys and accordion. So it was his band, but without him. So, but that was still a lot of fun, though. Man. Yeah, I had fun jamming with those guys.
Did me and you ever cross paths by chance, then?
What was that?
Did me and you ever cross paths by chance?
I doubt it, man. I'm a native Michigander. I lived in San Antonio for like a tiny little bit.
Okay.
I got a little job there working at a studio, but like literally for like a month. And then like in that 3 or 4 weeks that I was there, I jammed with a few different bands, but like no, man, I don't think so. I mean, it would have been cool, or maybe we have been, man. Who knows? Maybe in a different life or right? Some kind of parallel universe or something.
Yeah, for real, man. For real. Well, you know what? Let's just say if we haven't, then we will, right, bro?
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. I'm counting on it. My mom lives in Corpus, so like I go down there and visit her every once in a while.
Whenever you come and visit her, dude, my house is your house, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
We'll jam, bro.
Yeah,
we'll jam.
And then my sister and my brother live in Edinburgh. So yeah, after my dad passed away, they all moved to Texas, and I stayed up here in Ohio, like the next state over. But yeah, that's a whole nother story. My wife's from Ohio, so I stayed here. Plus, all my clients and the bands that I've jammed with were all from here. So aquí me quedé, right?
Hey, nothing wrong with that. If it's not broken, then you don't have to fix it, right?
Absolutely. We have Jay Tagle also. It says, "What up, fellas?" Pete Rodriguez says Joe Lopez, Grupo Mas, El Danny Boy on bass, and Ben Ramos on keyboards. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but
shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them. We interviewed Ben, Bam Bam, who happens to be my wife's first cousin, which is cool with that, that connection. So he's my cousin-in-law. Raul Nano Fuentes again says, you all played my birthday at the Blue Diamond. Oh, Tejano. Oh, he's talking about TF2, Tejano Funk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I was with, helping out Chuco Gutierrez. Let's see. Pete Rodriguez says, old San Antonio, Texas in the house. Okay. So he's just sending some shout outs, and that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, man, this is wicked. This is awesome, man. And so I'm so happy that you're working on all these projects and stuff, especially the Johnny Canales thing, man. I would be super stoked to be working on something like that too.
It's been a great blessing, bro. Like, when you work your blank off for everything that you want, because everything's right here, right? Right here. It's how much do you want it? Nobody can tell you no. Nobody should ever that anybody ever tell you no, that you can't do this, you can't do that, because con más ganas you're gonna want to do it. Absolutely. If you're really after it. No, but first always do it for yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Not to prove anybody else wrong. Then every once in a while throw a little shot here and there.
Yeah.
Para que sepan.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at the end of the day, people give me a chance to be, to work and be where I'm at right now, and that's what I want to do. I'm never stingy with anything, it's why, there's no reason. Life's too short, 1, 2, somebody has the eye of the tiger, just like you did back in the day, then, you remember where you came from and you helped them out, you be the spoon, they're going to have a bowl of food, but be the spoon and help them eat, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. As a matter of fact, you got a shout out right here from Jay Tagle. It says, Roland helped me get started on my musical journey. So he's sending you shout outs and
find me on Facebook, brother. I'll do my best to. I promise you.
Cool, man. And let's see here. And then Andy Diaz says, I just requested you on Facebook, Beatzilla X. So you're gonna probably get some friend requests. I don't know how many of them, but
I love it. I love having friends. Even if I don't know you, we will know we'll know each other on there.
Yeah, we all have something in common, even if it's just a Facebook, right?
That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's it. Throw a quick wave, I'll throw it right back.
Yeah. So let me ask you this real quick. What are you currently using as far as like your setup? And I mean, it could be either your live setup or your studio setup. Like, what are some of the things? What are some of your influences? What are how do you describe your sound? Because all the bands that you've talked about, like I've heard those bands, and all those bands sound unique in their own way, right? But what's kind of like the bloodline between all of that to say that, okay, well, this is what I kind of sound like, or check this out, and this is what I did that people can say, oh, this is something that's really Beatzilla X esque. Is that right? Esque, Beatzilla X esque. There we go.
Say it
like
5 times.
Yeah, that's funny.
No, I got you, my brother. If I could share a story with you,
Absolutely.
this guy Dylan Eli, great engineer, great person. I mean, he's been on the road with the Lynyrd Skynyrd. He's done work with J Lo, with R. Kelly. He there was he was on the road with Backstreet Boys for a good while, and gave me the opportunity, the platinum ticket to go back and meet them and hang out with them. He's been on the road with Justin Bieber, with Janet Jackson, Linkin Park. Great, and great, super humble guy. Well, he had introduced me to this guy out of New York that had produced the song for Nicki Minaj, and we were working on a song for Selena Gomez. And at that time, my I guess my producing styles were still in transition of something else that I wanted to do, something different. I just didn't know what it was yet. Mm-hmm. But when I talked to him, he goes, I love what you do. I love what you do. He goes, but you gotta let the song breathe. And I was like, okay. I was just trying to put everything in the caldo to make sense of what's gonna happen, right? Mm-hmm. He goes, you have all your ideas, great. You just need to separate them here and there, here and there. And from that point, I had to rewind. I had to learn myself all over again, and give me like 10 tracks. That's all I want to use, versus 32, of everything. And this is just for pre-pro, right? Mm-hmm. So once I started doing that, I found an opening to this frequency, I guess, if you want to call it, of what I wanted to do. I landed a song on My Life with Kylie, one of the Kardashians. One of my songs landed on 3 episodes of that show. And I would like to thank, oh my God, it's killing me, Guilful Productions for that. He's a great guy. He's the one who got me into that. And he opened that door for me. And I mean, talk about being surprised when he told me that. So I'm thinking, okay, it works. This works. Thinking outside the box. The guy, he told me, he goes, all those sounds when you're scrolling through sounds and looking for something, he goes, all the ones you pass, those are the ones that I want. Which made sense. Yeah. We're always looking for the secure bells or the fresh air or the guarantees, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. But when he told me that, he goes, all those sounds that you pass, those are the sounds that I want. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense. So ever since then, I've been using the craziest sounds, but making them make sense and still keeping the foundation of them. That's where I guess I had thinking outside the box is like the cumbia doesn't always have to sound like that. You don't always have to use the brass. You don't always have to use the electric piano
or the organ.
Switch it up to this, or switch it up, switch those to the norm. Switch them out a little bit. Get lost with it. Because right now we need something different. This industry, pobrecitos, chingao. It sucks, man. It sucks because more radio stations are dropping out more than bands.
Yep, that's the sad thing, man.
The guaranteed radio stations back in the day. You know what? Because, and I hate to say it, porque andaban de mamones. Like give these new bands a chance. Give them a chance to breathe. But they're scared of it for some reason, and I mean, if you're scared, don't work there. Mm-hmm. Be scared of not waking up.
Yep.
Right?
Somebody, I think we joked about this once in another interview once, but may KXTN rest in peace or in high definition or whatever, right? And no offense, I'm
Right,
not trying to
exactly.
pick on anybody, right? But somebody
No,
told
no,
me
no.
once that, man, they play the same music that they've been playing since 1992 or 1991,
Oh,
and
dude.
and somebody said, I think some people don't even realize that Jay Perez is a solo artist yet. You know, they probably still think that
Yeah.
he's playing with David Lee because they keep playing
Yeah.
that album, right? And granted, that I mean, Con el Tiempo and 1392 were awesome albums, right? But like David Lee has recorded himself at least 10, maybe 20 albums since that time. Are those albums getting any
Uh-huh.
airplay? Nope. And we're talking
Exactly.
about people,
And great music too.
yeah,
Great music too.
great music.
That they still haven't heard.
Right, and not only that, but we're talking about artists that are already established, like monsters within Tejano
Hmm.
music. You know, Jay
Exactly.
Perez and David Lee, and you know, and groups like that. But what about the bands that are just coming out? Like they almost don't even stand a chance. If the radio stations are stuck in playing music from 30 years ago, and not giving even the established artists a chance with their new music, how are they going to give new music from a new band a chance? And you're absolutely right. That's what's happening, is that people are getting sick of that format because it's, you know, Tejano at one point was like a new format. Like every so many, you know, whatever, there was a new song. And so that you'd hear the new song on the radio, almost like pop radio. But if you get stuck in this oldies sort of, and no disrespect to anybody, right? Because I still listen to that stuff. You know, I listen to,
Oh yeah,
you
me
know,
too. To this
Steel
day.
Rain
To
and,
this,
you know, Enter the Future and, you know, Beyond. Like those
oh
albums are iconic albums. But, you know, like how are we going to move forward if we're like got lead weights on our feet? You know, one of which being like the radio stations that aren't, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know what the answer to that
it's,
is.
it's it's like, I don't even think Scooby Doo can solve that one. To be
Ni con Scooby Snacks, ni con nada, man.
I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's just it's crazy, bro. I mean, don't get me wrong. People are putting out great music, and I don't want to call them the old school, because I just want to call them foundation.
Yep.
They're still putting out great music, but still, these new artists, and I know I'm not speaking for all of them, but from what I've heard, it's like just advance it a little bit, put some more time into it. Honestly, take your time on it. Like it's a bit right now, with all this pandemic going on, is a time to feed the people some great stuff. But give them some great stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to go eat somewhere and it tastes like crap,
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. Trust me, because that happened to us yesterday, and that's because we cooked. I was sick earlier. I gotta share this, dude. I was sick. Me and my girl was sick earlier. My God, horrible. But we decided to make sushi last night,
Mm-hmm.
and well, I'm just gonna leave it there.
Hey, man,
Man, it was horrible. It was horrible. But hey, you know what? We risked it, and she's done it before. She did it by herself last time, and it was magnificent plus tax. I think it's because I got involved and I helped. and, and I'm not a bad cook, don't get me wrong, but I shouldn't have been in the kitchen, honestly.
Yeah. So let me share a little story with you, similar, I guess. So, for like 2 years now, maybe 2 going on 3 years now, my wife and I, we've been vegan. So we don't eat any animal
Okay.
products, and we don't, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, we bought some, we wanted to make like some kind of junk food at home. We were doing, like fries, but she's like, hey, remember when we used to go to Red Robin? We used to get the campfire sauce. It's kind of like the fancy sauce. Like, yeah. Okay, well, we're going to get the ingredients and we're going to try to make our own veganized version of it. Like now she's got it down where it tastes really good. But the first time that we tried like this one weird kind of vegan mayo and like open pit barbecue. And it just, it was not good.
You see, and that's referring like those,
Mm-hmm.
but I know what you mean. Sushi and sauce, damn. It was a rowdy story.
Yep.
You know what? I really want to say thank you again, man, and not cutting the interview short, but I just really want people to recognize you for doing this, man. This is awesome, bro. You take time and let us share our story, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean,
That really means a lot, bro. Not a lot of people show love like that, dude. And you seem to have a great heart, bro. And on behalf of me and anybody else that's done an interview, man, props go to you, bro.
thank
Thank
you.
you for keeping this alive, bro.
So, and you guys have known, the people who watch this show on a regular already know, like, where this channel was specifically made to pass the torch on of Tejano music. And Tejano music is kind of like a general term, right? Because I mean, you've got La Mafia and you got Cumbia Kings and everybody in between. It's like, but conjunto music and accordion music right now is banging because everybody knows how to play accordion and bajo, but nobody wants to take the time to show or to learn how to play keyboards and sounds and layers and stuff like that. So we talk theory here. We talk keyboard programming. We talk whatever you guys want to talk about. That's what we're going to talk about here because we need to spread the information. We need to pass
Definitely.
it on. As a matter of fact, I'm
And
going
I
to
never answered your question, right? I'm sorry.
What was
I
that?
never answered your question. I never answered your question. What I was using as far as like to record, right? That I went to sushi. Dang. See that the mentality of musicians. Sometimes we exit where we're not supposed to
¿Verdad?
on the freeway. But going back to the software, I've been using Reason since Reason became Reason.
Yep.
I'm at 11 right now at the highest point, and I've got sounds, dude, that I will never go through my lifetime. Honestly, I would love to share them with you, dude. If you ever want to send me a hard drive, dude, I would love to share my sounds with you, bro.
Cool, man.
And I so that's what I use programming, Reason, Pro Tools, and then Splice is one of my best friends as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just use microKORG. I use my computer on stage where I have a laptop that I run Reason because I love to use the sounds that I actually use on the recording. With the effects and everything like that. So it's a lot easier for me to use that. And when we get them back from the studio after they're mixed and mastered, I'll get those and sample them back into the software, to make them sound live like that, like the album.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's pretty much what I share, what I use for my live, my studio setup.
Well, both, right? Because it's the studio and that's the workflow of today, man. Like even people like when Presonus first came out with their first digital mixer, it was called the Studio Live because they wanted you to be able to take that board, mix something in the studio, mix your band on their software, on Studio One or whatever, and then take it on the road and then open up the session or whatever, and you guys are performing live, and it sounds the same effects, the same whatever that you had in the studio. Now it's live, so that workflow absolutely works. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, you want to recreate what people hear in the album on stage, and so that's the way to do it. It really is.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. What do you have set up back there, brother?
Right here, this is a Korg this is a Korg Kronos, but I only use I don't really use it for the internal sounds. I use it because it's got a 64 gig solid state hard drive, and I also resample stuff from my plugins and then just take it on the road with me. So instead of having a laptop and everything, I trigger all my samples and backing tracks and everything right from this. It's all in one, and it has multiple outputs. So then I can send my percussion loops and stuff out one channel and stereo keyboards and a bunch of different stuff. So that's what I'm using right now. But also real quick, just to kind of do a shameless little plug here for those of you who are watching. We're in the beta testing stages of the new Tejano Keyboard Music Creator Library. We hope to have it out by October. We had a couple setbacks with the team and stuff, but we're already seeing the light at the end of the tunnel to the home stretch. So a bunch of different loops, a bunch of different BPMs. So you're gonna have a bunch of different sounds from classic keyboards to today, and everything that you need to create your own Tejano, whatever, from chotis, redova to cumbia, huapangos, everything under the sun, accordions, bajo sextos, all sorts of samples that you guys can use. So just keep an eye out for that, and we're still working on getting all the coding stuff done for that. So, like I said, hopefully by October
That's
that'll be
dope,
out.
bro.
So,
That's cool, man. I want to jump on that, dude.
yeah, it's something that I felt that there was a need for within the Tejano producing community, the keyboard community. So, like, everything from the DX7 to the Korg M1 to even today, whatever.
You gotta have that sop sop sapo sound.
Yeah, that accordion little. Yeah, man. The
Yes,
D50.
of course, dude.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna have.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Big props, man.
Thanks.
Best of luck on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I know that you have some other stuff that you have to do, and I appreciate you for your time. And I know it was kind of a quick little interview, but I do appreciate everything. Like I said, like the interview warmed your heart, it warmed mine too, because going into this, neither of us knew what this was going to be about, and it ended up being like,
cool.
man, well, I don't, not me necessarily on you, but you about the influence on. What I'm doing and all this and that, and the music I would listen to as a young kid. So let's see. We have a couple more questions real quick before we get going. Donald Valdez says, "What's with the mask?" And we talked about that earlier. Just theatrics, man. Like what did you say on stage? Every day is Halloween, right?
Every day. If I could go to HEB, now that we can mask, I'm just gonna go to HEB like this.
Hey, there you go. Hey, I'm COVID ready,
hey.
right? I am COVID ready.
And if they ask me I'm 21, when I'm getting some alcohol or something, I'll just have the same picture as my ID. It is me.
Man, that's awesome. That's funny.
And honestly, to answer that question, it's just, to me, I've been a big Michael Jackson fan since I've always, him, Prince, the greats, I've always admired how they didn't care what happened on stage. They just made it look great, So I've always looked up to them for doing things like that, and I always say, if they can do it, why can't we do it? We breathe the same, we put our pants on the same way. Let's take it there. So that's why it's the whole mask thing. Trust me, it's hard to perform with it on stage. I got 2 different ones, going on a 3rd one, but it's something that I'll learn to live with the more we start playing, on stage and everything like that. But that's why it's just, and plus it looks cool.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's unique for sure. Nobody else I know of has, like, it looks like a disco ball, but like gothic and like super cool. I'm digging it. Also, Robert Rodriguez says Jerry De La Rosa was a beast on them keys. Yes, he was. May he rest in peace.
Oh my God, he was one of my favorites. I got to meet him. God bless his soul.
Yep, and for those of you who are still wanting to get more information on Jerry De La Rosa, we did an interview a month or so ago with Gilbert Velasquez and Chente Barrera talking about the life and the history of Jerry De La Rosa. So if you guys are interested in hearing more about Jerry, be sure to check out that interview. It was pretty cool. But yeah, Tocayo, thank you so much, Mr. Beatzilla X, right here for all of you guys. Do you want to plug anything or any information if people need to get a hold of you as far as if they want you to produce something for them, or are you doing anything like that right now?
I would love, I'm always open to taking projects, anybody that I can help out. Yeah, you can just reach me on my Facebook, at Roland Beatzilla X Gutierrez. My Twitter's the same thing. Also, check out our new Mexicana stuff, under Mexicana Music at Facebook. You can go on to YouTube and check out some videos that we've done of that, and just be on the lookout some new projects that I have coming along with Endos and with Omi and with Victor and with all these artists that I mentioned earlier that they'll be coming out soon. And of course, with my main big one that I'm thinking is such an honor is the Johnny Canales one.
Absolutely.
So
that'll be awesome.
So I'll definitely share that with you, my brother, D, because you took the time to reach out to me, dude. I would like to give you, the first listen to.
I would appreciate that, very, very much. But
of course,
thank you very much. If you want to stand by, that would be great. Otherwise, you guys, will see you guys next week. Next week we have, let me see. I have the flyer here. I always forget because I'm doing too many things at once. But we have, dun, da, 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 drum roll. Let's see. We have Mark Martinez, formerly from Emilio Navarra y Grupo Rio. And then the week after that, that'll take us into October. And we're going to start off October, hopefully, with Mando San Roman from Sereno. Although he was supposed to start this month, he had some kind of rescheduling things, but we're glad to have him at the beginning of next month. So until next time, we'll see you guys later.